Hello guys, welcome to my vlog. My name is DC Desikan from Musora and I will discuss you about the Philippine history. So the Philippine history of the Filipino people has been significantly influenced by Islam. So the introduction of Islam to the archipelago in the 14th century resulted in this rapid growth and inculatry among numerous indigenous people, having a profound effects on their culture, society, and sense of self. Arab and Malay traders who built up business and cultural ties with the local popular were a major factors is in the spread of Islam in the Philippines. Along with their commodities, these traders brought the Islamic belief, which over time acquired popularity and drew flowers instead of using force to propagate. Islam was disseminated peacefully and with the help of Muslim leaders and scholars. Raja Brogunda, a local ruler from the Zulu archipelago, was one of the most famous and early convert to Islam. His conversion served as the catalyst for the establishment and of the Sultanate of Sulu, one of the Southeast Asia first Muslim empires. As a result of As a result of Astrid's diplomacy and efforts to promote Islamic knowledge throughout the region, so the Sultanate functions as a focal point for the spread of Islam. So the Philippines' many ethics groups conversions to Islam had a significant impact on the country's social, political, and economic system. So Islamic beliefs, practice, and norms were incorporated into their daily lives and had an impact on their families, communities, and legal system. So Sharia or Islamic law serve as its governing system and give a framework for settling conflicts and upholding societal. So this grown of dynamic Islam communities like Mindanao, which become a center for Islamic study and scholarship. So was another result of Islam's spread to educate the Muslim populace and uphold their religious practice. Islamic schools or madrasas were founded. So so the establishment of a distinctive Islamic intellectual and cultural heritage among Filipino Muslims was facilitated by these organizations. So the positions against Spanish colonizations had a considerable contribution from Islam. So in several battles and revolutions over the ages, the Muslim populations known as the Moro people courageously defended their homeland from Spanish incursions. So the Moro people's adherence to Islam as well as their determination to preserve their independence and cultural identity to serve as a driving forces for their resistance. So Islam continues to be a crucial component of Filipino identity today. So in the Philippines, tourism naman has a long history that is complicated by the interactions of political, social, and religious elements. So ang tourism has had a significant impact on on the country, changing its political landscape and affecting the lives of its citizens. So from separate movements to extremist belief, when the Moro National Liberation from first appearance in the 1970s. So it was one of early explains of terrorism in the Philippines. So the MLF aimed to create an independent Islamic state in the heavily Muslim population province of Mindanao. Bombing, kidnappings, and guerrilla warfare were all result of these confrontations between the government and the MLFF. So the Moro Islamic liberations from spiritual functions of the first appearance in the 1980s, using terrorism as a means of achieving its objectives. The MILF presented is the fight for an independent Muslim state. So, a cycle of violence and instability result from their strike on both military and civilized targets. So, other strong urge organizations have also formed in the Philippines in addition to a separatist movements Abu Sayyaf Group or ESG, which was founded in the early 1990s, is one of the most renewed among them. ESG is well known for its extreme ideologies and has committed numerous terrorist activities such as bombings, assassinations, and high-profile kidnapping. So their actions have attracted attentions on global scale and have been connected to international terrorism organization to choose the delegates of the a separate elections was held on November 10 and following the announcement of the winners on 1-3 on 1:30. So the convention was formally launched in the recently constructed in Quezon City Hall of June 1st, 1971. Garcia took the oath and son of the once held the conference died in 13 days after it began on the first day of constitutional conventions. So Carlos, previous head of state of the Philippine President Diosdado Macapagal took charge of the conventions and the interim in lieu of the department Garca. So the former senators Rosales T. Lim and Raul Maglapus were among the 320 people who received invitations to the meeting. So among the participants who eventually became well-known politicians were Hilario divided Junior and Marcelo Teosfisto Gongona and Junior Sitio, Laurel Aguilao, Pimentel Junior, Raul Rocco, and Edgardo Agara. So Federico de la Plana, Margarito Travis, and Richard Gardon were also present. So the Constitution refers to this region of the Philippine archipelago as the Philippines as a whole. So the Philippines is a owner of all island waterways and other area with historical rights or titles. This is a companionship of the territory sea, airspace, and subsoil, the subsoil region of the seafloor, and various sections of the island that the Philippines has jurisdictions or control over. So inside the body stream have been found. So with the exception of Rhode Island, all states delegates gathered in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in in 1787 for an assembly, the Constitutional Conventions, which was held at this time, agreed that the separation of the Article of Confederations and the drafting of a new constitutions were the appropriate remedies to the concern of the nascent nations. So George Washington's president over the Constitutional Conventions, participants debated for months about what would be covered by the constitutions with states legislator or representative. Some states didn't need to strong central government, but other did. States expressed their concern. So major states desire equal representation for large and small states because they feel more representations in Congress. So a two-part legislature with equal representations was promoted by delegates from convictions by the name of Roger Sherman. So Maroto guys, unta, minaw mo.